Hi everyone, James Nussbaumer here, and I'm responding to a message from Joe and Mary Ellen of Panama City, Florida, who now are temporarily living in the Suffolk area around London, England, on business there. They've been there, and they might be there another year and a half, it seems, before they get back to Panama City. And they've been following me on Facebook, and they've read my books and been seeing a couple of my blogs and my videos, and they read the part in book one about the murder that I had witnessed in the adjoining cell next to me while I was in prison for 8 years for a foolish securities violation. But the gist of that went on to talk, just the ego in us, the illusion that we think that we are, the ego-based mind in us, and the Holy Spirit, our natural inner guidance system. And book two that's out right now, Mastering Your Own Spiritual Freedom, Lessons from A Course in Miracles, they are really fond of. And they asked me on Facebook if I would expand on a section that I had written about a prayer that helps pull us together to keep us from illusion, from the ego-based mind, when we're weak. And it goes like this, but what else really can correct illusions but truth? Think about that. What are errors in our lives? What are errors but illusions that remain unrecognized for what they are? Where truth has entered, errors disappear. It's like truth is like the light, and errors are like the darkness that just gets drawn to the light. And as the errors come to truth, the light, darkness comes to the light, it just goes away. It fades away. It's not the other way around. Truth doesn't go out looking for errors. Errors find their way to the truth, just like darkness finds its way to the light and ends up being light or the dawn of a new day. They merely what I was saying, where truth had entered and where errors disappear, they merely just vanish, like I had said. Kind of like darkness vanishes when the dawn comes, leaving not a trace by which to be remembered anymore. The darkness is gone for that night, for that day, and a new day comes along. The illusions are gone because without belief, they have no life. Darkness has no life without belief that it is what it thinks it is. And when light comes on it, it knows that it's not real. And that's what ends up with the false in us. We know that what's really false, when the real truth, real truth, real light shining on the falseness that we kind of want to follow throughout our days, the truth really puts it out, doesn't it? They disappear. The falsity, the darkness, it disappears into nothingness, returning to whence they came. And I wanted to use that whence they came because I had gotten that from a beautiful poetic thing that I had read by Abigail Adams back in the early, the pioneer days and of the White House, early, the Federation days and everything. But and she would say whence they came and something. But really, it's like, isn't it from dust to dust they go, but truth carries on? Can you imagine what a state of mind it would be without illusion? How would it feel? The ego in us will tell us that this is impossible. And the ego is right for a change, because as long as we're in a human body, for the most part, it's totally impossible, but we can drastically put out that darkness of the impossible as much as we can by the truth that's in us, which is our inner guidance system. So I guess where I'm leading to is try to remember that, when there was a time, perhaps a minute, let's say, maybe even less, when nothing came to interrupt peace, a period when you were certain, absolutely certain, you were loved and you were safe. Then try to picture what it would be like to have that moment extended to the end of time and all the way into eternity and beyond. I mean, really, is there any beyond eternity? No, there can't be. Eternity is eternity. There's no conflict, there's no shortcomings, and there's no longcomings. It is what it is. But my point is, think about it. Try to picture what it would be like to have that moment of feeling perfectly loved and safe, all the way through eternity. Let the sense of quiet, the sense of quietness, the quiet that you felt during that sense of love and safety, let it go into you and feel it being multiplied 100 times, and then 100 times more, and then 1,000 times more, 10 times fold and more. Think about that. When truth has come, it wipes out illusion, and then there is no fear. There's no doubt, there's no attack. No attack thoughts, no judgments against other people and what they should be doing or what they shouldn't be doing, or even judgment against yourself, what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing. When truth has come, all pain is over, because there's no room for transient thinking and for dead ideas to linger on in your mind any longer. It's kind of the end of conflict, wouldn't you think? Truth, real truth. But truth cannot be found, but it can be won. And when it is a permanent victory. It doesn't come to stay a while and then change to something else. No, it doesn't. But illusions can never turn into truth. Truth will correct all errors in your mind, which are telling you that you are separate from God. When you find yourself overwhelmed with confusion, understand that your mind is overloaded with these ego errors. But it's okay, because it's errors. It's not sin, it's errors. This was caused merely by the ego's tainting, if you will, of your perceptions. Let me give you an exercise that I'd like to have you do that helps me quite a bit on, ridding the illusion out of my mind and hanging on to the real truth that's within me, regardless of what the world says. My truth that's in me, that no one can take from me. And I do it this way, and it's an exercise that I've put in my book here, Mastering Your Own Spiritual Freedom, that you'll find when you pick it up. But for now, let's go like this. Here goes the exercise. You can use it as a prayer or a meditation. I like to use it as a meditation. Ask the Holy Spirit to undo the errors by using these words or similar words of your own in the form of, like I'd said, meditation or a prayer, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Keep it simple and use the type of language that you would when you're talking to your own self in private where no one is around. You ever do that? Talk to yourself when no one's around? Well, use that same kind of language. This is how I talk to the Holy Spirit that's within me, my inner guidance system. This is how I do it. And you can maybe follow or take how I do it and just, put it into your own way of doing things. But this is how I do it. And it goes like this. Holy Spirit, my teacher and guide for life, my inner guidance system, my teacher for life. I realize that truth will correct all errors in my mind. Please enforce truth within me so that I may see the real world in true light. I think I've let some crazy illusions sneak on in and take over. Please undo these if you think that that's what's happening. Thank you. I'll talk to you in the morning. Often I use that before going to bed at night. Each time you do this, to correct errors in your mind. You are also speaking for the world, because along with truth, you are one in it all. Truth is the world, right? And you are the world. Truth is the universe. You are the universe. You are one with it all. If you're being truthful with yourself, regardless of what other people try to tell you or coerce you towards or put pressure on you to do things that you don't want to do, stick with the truth within you. Thank you. I hope that makes sense. God bless. I wish the best for you.